The Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is supported in part by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, conserving the wild things and wild places of Texas thanks to members across the state. Additional funding is provided by Toyota. Your local Toyota dealers are proud to support outdoor recreation and conservation in Texas. Toyota, let's go places.
Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
We're trying really hard to protect the skies, keep the skies dark.
We have changed tremendously some of this habitat with fire.
For me, nature is it. We have disconnected ourselves from nature, and we need to connect ourselves back.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, a television series for all outdoors.
There's something magical about this place. It's like nothing else.
We're trying really hard to protect the skies, keep the skies dark.
Without the dark skies here, we'd be in a world hurt. It's beginning to encroach on us.
The dark skies, the remote location, the high elevation, the dry climate, and the southerly location all combine to make this an ideal spot for an observatory. McDonald historically and certainly ongoing today has had a very active public outreach education program. Astronomy is an excellent vehicle for science education in the country. I don't have the technical inclination to be an astrophysicist. The math and the physics stuff escapes me. The biggest part of my job responsibilities are maintaining the dark skies, keeping the skies dark for the observatory. Dark sky just means the lack of any artificial light sources, anthropogenic light, man-made, human origin light sources. It's a relatively recent phenomenon. I mean, light pollution wasn't a term anybody would have understood 100 years ago. And astronomers are kind of like the canaries in the coal mine. We're the first ones to say, hey, wait a second, the skies here aren't as dark as they used to be. Tens of billions of dollars a year worldwide is just wasted up into the night sky. Light that's doing nobody any good whatsoever and is blocking our view of the stars. One of my earliest memories is watching the moon rise through a pair of binoculars leaned up against a window. Ever since then, I've been fascinated by the night sky and looking through telescopes. It's going to look like a garage sale in here. The new upgraded parts are still being attached to the telescope. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't even look like it. I mean, I've had people come in here and go, so where's the telescope, The amount of data collected by the telescope is about to dramatically increase. Gathering light from some galaxies that are 10, 12 billion light years distant, very faint objects. We're talking about maybe a dozen or so photons per hour will be collected by the telescope. So if the background sky gets brighter than the faint objects we're trying to observe, then we lose them, or they're lost for observation. So it's critical that we maintain the dark skies here at McDonald Observatory in West Texas. It's an amazing project. It's really remarkable. Can't wait to get on a star.
When you say pollution, you don't think of light is being in that category of pollution. So it's not something you think you're doing wrong. And when I talk about the dark skies, I try to help people understand how easy it is to preserve them. All it is a choice you make at Home Depot to buy the light that points down instead of points up. And doing it here, I think, is important because people can see the dark sky. And once people kind of get an idea of to what they could have in their backyard, they're more motivated to go and make those right decisions.
You can come into this community at night and you'll think, where'd the power go? Because we, as a group, keep our night lights either directed downwards or don't use them, but it's encroaching from other areas, particularly the oil patch and Permian Basin. The only way to keep McDonald Observatory working and safe and viable is for dark skies.
We've seen the glow along the horizon to our northeast steadily increase. We are not against outdoor lighting at night. This is not an anti-light campaign. We're trying to promote good lighting. First off, there are ordinances in place, outdoor lighting ordinances in place in the 7 counties that surround McDonald Observatory that basically ask that light be kept on the ground and out of the sky. Within the 7 counties, the Texas Railroad Commission has let right at 5,000 permits in 5 years to drill for oil and gas, and that's just the drilling. That doesn't take into account all the facilities that go along with oil and gas production. So there are literally thousands of installations within the region that's protected by law to keep the skies dark. I don't think a single oil and gas operator even knew that there was a lighting ordinance in place.
Our ability to enforce a dark skies ordinance type thing sort of ends at the county line for us. There are just so many things we can't do. We're not talking about enforcement, we're talking about education.
I've been to probably a dozen major conventions over the past year and a half.
Bill's a great guy. I mean, he can sell this. And he does sell this, and he goes around, and that's what we have to do is educate.
I don't think there's anybody that's insensitive or doesn't care. It's just not a blip on their radar screen. A lot of them will say, well, I never really thought about it before. But once they do, it's like, well, sure, this is the problem that we don't need to have. If we can just keep the light on their work and out of the sky, problem solved.
Going to a state park in a place away from the city, it's a really majestic feeling. We're really using our state parks as demonstration sites. We'll just do a tour of the constellations and people can learn a little bit, and then we'll start talking to people about light pollution and how they themselves can help reduce some of the light pollution, because when you do go and see the Milky Way, it's a really inspiring sight.
Today, Enchanted Rock joins an elite group of park, preserves, and other conservation areas worldwide as an IDA International Dark Sky Park. We look forward to a long and enduring relationship with Enchanted Rocks and Texas Parks and Wildlife that will help us keep the stars at night truly big and bright. Please accept this award with our compliments. Congratulations, Doug. Really, man. Thank you. Yeah, you've done so much. You've done so much. Do people living in urban areas notice that they're missing anything? Some don't. But if they've never really seen it, then it's hard to convey the meaning or the value that it might have. There's nothing quite like getting out under a starry sky and actually seeing it for yourself.
When I see or hear turkeys, that makes me feel real good. I love it. I'm Gary Costello, the chairperson for the Brushy Creek Wildlife Management Association. This co-op consists of approximately 11,000 acres with around 15 members. And all this land is tied together. So whether it's a small tract or a large tract, everything in this co-op is a piece of what we're trying to do.
So we'll sit here for 2 minutes, see if he calls. If he doesn't, move on, record different observations. There's one right there. There he goes. There you go. That's fun. As our landscape in East Texas becomes more fragmented, large ranches becoming smaller ranches, it's harder for one individual to provide enough habitat to support a population of wild turkeys. So that cooperative approach, neighbors working with neighbors, creates a larger landscape.
And out of the 10,000 acres, do you have any clue how much we've actually burned?
Probably
with all
about
of our neighbors?
2,500 or so.
So about 25% of it? Well, that's good.
We've got people who have been involved in wildlife for years. We've got people who has not been in wildlife, who are greenhorns at it. And sometimes that's the best people to have.
We've had several of our friends come out and help us with burns, which is kind of like training them how to do it. So yeah, we try to spread it around a little bit and teach people how to do it.
Before we started this project, most of the woodlands were so thick, that had to change.
One thing that turkeys rely on more than anything else is their eyesight. They have to be able to see through an area to use it. So our goal is to get fire on the ground.
We have changed tremendously some of this habitat with fire.
Going out on a piece of property, one of the first things I'm looking for, if I don't see an area that's been fresh burned like this, I am looking for the sides of those trees. That black on the tree up 3, 4, 5 feet. And I think that's a beautiful thing. What this is going to do with this fire is it's going to create that little low-growing woody cover. Turkey will get right underneath that, and that's where she's going to lay her nest.
They seem to like it here. There'll still be smoke coming up, and you'll see these turkeys coming into these burns. I love seeing the turkeys when I'm out on the ranch. Makes me feel like we're accomplishing something when we see it going the way it's supposed to go.
This landscape is a place where these landowners have worked together to do something positive for wild turkeys.
What I've heard my neighbors say is, what can I do? And when you hear your neighbors say, what can I do? You know you're making progress.
Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Every man has his own vocation. Talent is the call." And Clemente Guzman has a talent, a gift. His calling is found on canvas.
The sun, the way it penetrates the leaves, is just amazing. For me, nature is that we have disconnected ourselves from nature, and we need to connect ourselves back to take care of it.
One of 9 children, Clemente grew up in Doss, Texas. His granddad, his father, even Clemente and his siblings, they all worked the fields and farmlands of the U.S. as migrant workers.
To be a migrant worker, at first I was ashamed of that, because, man, people see you kind of down. But actually, it has made me stronger. Being able to appreciate life.
Clemente is the artist for Texas Parks and Wildlife. For 25 years now, he's been working on everything from license plates to posters to hunting stamps.
I need to be looking at it, so I'm going to put it right here, like this.
Today, he's just starting on a new project.
Usually what I do first, I'll throw some paint in there, but it's light. I don't go intense with it and kind of sketching it in a way, but with paint. But I want the gray color to be kind of like a fuzzy, have like a fuzzy look to it. And that'll make it look like it's far away.
He discovered his talent for painting wildlife at an early age.
My first painting was a sparrow. I painted a sparrow on a twig. After that, I just fell in love with that.
This painting of bison will be a cover for an issue of Texas Parks and Wildlife magazine.
So right now I'm using a medium-sized brush and I'm applying the dark color on there. I'm about 40% done. So I still need to paint the buffalo, the foreground. The painting is still in the loose form. I'm not into the detail yet. I can see all kinds of colors working together. The blues and the oranges, the highlight on the wool of the buffalo. I think it's gonna be a powerful piece. When they see my painting, they see the hawk or they see a raccoon, a fish. You know, try to show it to you in a way that I saw it. I hope I can translate the energy that nature has. You know, that's just life, and life at its best.
To keep his creative spirit alive, Clemente takes a break from his work
That's beautiful.
to get outside.
You know, we come to work every day. We don't even see this. We just get up, go straight to work and start working, and we forget all about this. And you gotta come out here to experience it. This little spot is very spiritual to me. It's very full of energy through the little pebbles, the noise of the water. It's just peaceful and relaxing. And I get all kinds of ideas running through my head. I get a lot of inspiration. And I use that inspiration on my artwork. You always think, where does this come from, your inspiration for wildlife? My dad, I remember my dad telling me a story about, you know, he went to work. He's a laborer. They encountered this possum. All the workers were like, kill it, and we can keep on working. And my dad grabbed it by the tail and released it where the pecan trees are. And all the workers were like, why didn't you kill it? You know, well, you know. And he said, why? It's life. Animals have a right to live. You know, that to me was powerful when he did that. It's going really well. I like the color so far. Right now I'm working on the final touches.
When all was finished, Clemente spent a month on the painting.
I had a lot of fun working on the fur, on the buffalo, the nice warm colors, and the steam coming out of the nostrils. I also like the nice transition from the mountains to the buffalo.
So in the end, thanks to family, his challenges overcome, his discovered inspiration, now that talent, his calling, continues.
I found what I want to do. I'm happy, and everybody needs to search for that. And I don't know if it's in nature, being a doctor, helping people, but you need to find what moves you, what grabs you. Once you find that, there's nothing that can stop you.
If you head down a dirt road near Sweeney, Texas, keep your eyes peeled. Because underneath these towering oaks, slithering below the Spanish moss, are plenty of these guys. This is Copperhead Country.
I've dealt with more copperheads than most professionals have, and I'm just a guy that lives in Sweeney, Texas.
Lee Hubbard's property is overrun with copperheads. Common throughout much of the state, these small, venomous pit vipers seem to really like Lee's place. At first, he killed the snakes, and after a while, it became too much.
Yeah, let's find some.
So he called in some help.
Well, I've received a number of calls over the years where people had 2, 3, 4, up to 20 copperheads in their yard. I'd never had anybody report 150 copperheads in a season, and it turns out that that's really pretty average around here.
There's one right there.
Hey, Chris, first one of the night. Is this how you normally find them?
Yeah.
Just here at the base of the tree?
Yep, they sit by the base of the trees waiting for the cicadas.
There's that classic pit viper head shape. It's not unusual to find copperheads throughout most of Texas. If you look very closely between the eye and the nostril on the upper lip, you'll see some small pits in the scales above the lip, and those are the heat sensing organs.
Snake specialist Christopher Swanson is collecting these copperheads for science.
That's 2.
We don't want to hurt these animals. We're trying to collect them as gently as possible. But because they're in a feeding scenario at this time of night, this time of year, we actually have to chase after them.
Oh, here we go. You see one? Where? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good size one. Cool. And there's a cicada molt. The copperheads here, this is what they're eating. They're eating the insects. When they come out of the ground and they molt, the snakes feed on them.
They actually come up and they'll work their jaws all the way over them without a envenomating bite. They have no purpose to do that, which is why we found their venom very, very interesting.
There you go.
Scientists believe that a protein found in the venom of copperheads inhibits the growth of cancerous tumors. For Lee, this hits home. His aunt died of cancer, and the next day, a team started collecting copperheads to help with the research.
To find out that day, after burying my aunt the day before, that we could do something and possibly help. I have 2 daughters, have a beautiful wife. So, personal, I mean, copperhead venom could save one of my family members. So that's why I do it.
It's just fantastic. And here we've turned from a landowner who perceived the copperheads on his property as a nuisance or a potential threat, and now he recognizes them as a potential medical miracle. It's just great. I couldn't be happier.
This series is supported in part by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, conserving the wild things and wild places of Texas thanks to members across the state. Additional funding is provided by Toyota. Your local Toyota dealers are proud to support outdoor recreation and conservation in Texas. Toyota, let's go places.